Welcome back to another week of a mini series teaching you everything you need to know to improve your budget and finances. I'm super excited for this week because I'll be walking you through how to simplify your finances and focus on what's really important so you can make positive strides forward in your money and finances. Super excited, so let's go ahead and get started. So now that you know what makes a budget plan successful and signs that your budget isn't working and what to do to fix it, let's talk about how to simplify your finances and focus on what's really important to you. So first, let me ask you this. Are you feeling overwhelmed? Does the thought of your money and budgeting and finances and money management overwhelm you or give you anxiety? I wanted to share a few tips to help you fight through that. First, focus on one thing at a time. If you are trying to do all the things with your money, you may feel like you're not making any progress. So if you're trying to build up a savings and pay off debt and buy new shoes and invest in a class, you may be feeling stretched way too thin, and that's super overwhelming. Instead, take it one goal at a time. Focus on paying off your debt, then move on to building up your savings. Or invest in that class, then focus on paying off debt. But focusing on one thing at a time will help you make the most of that goal and you won't feel so stretched thin. Also, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I want you to make sure your numbers are realistic. If you are a family of 3 and you're only giving yourself $25 a week for food, that's not realistic. So make sure that you are being true to your situation and you're giving yourself a chance to succeed with your money and budget. And finally, take a step back and start fresh. Guess what? I'm a budget coach and my budget doesn't always go as planned. But what I'm really good at and what I'm really good at helping my clients at is taking a step back and starting fresh for the next month, reviewing what didn't go as planned, and then using that knowledge to help me improve and help my clients improve for the next month. There is nothing wrong with starting fresh month over month. Now let's talk about what's really important when it comes to your finances. First, it's very important that you stick to your numbers. So when you create a budget that is realistic for your situation, you gotta stick to it. If you're not sticking to that budget, you're not gonna see the progress that you are so worthy and deserving of. What's also important is building up a reserve or savings. I know we talked about this in a previous lesson, but if something comes up unexpectedly, I would hate for your budget to be thrown out the window because you didn't plan or prepare properly. So building up a small reserve or savings just in case something comes up will do you so much good in the future. And what's important? Paying down debt. Debt is draining, debt is heavy, and debt slows your progress. I think people are so accustomed to living in debt that they don't realize when you're debt free, all of your other financial goals seem to move so much faster. So if you have debt, make sure you are prioritizing paying it off. You will thank me later. So what are your next steps? Well, we're at the end of the month here, so why don't you reflect and assess? How did your month go? How did your spending go? How did your budget go? What do you need to change for the next month? Take the time to really think about what happened and what you can do to move forward the best way. Ask yourself, what can you change for the next go round? Can you give yourself a little bit more flexibility in your budget categories? Can you control your spending a little bit more next month? What can you do to help you succeed next time? And then finally, identify your areas of weakness. If you are looking at your month and where your money went, if you see that, well, I went to TJ Maxx 3 times and that resulted in me buying something every single time I went, that's an area of weakness. Guess what? Let's not go to TJ Maxx next month. When you know where you struggle, you can actively work to avoid those things or consciously make an effort to fight through them. And if you haven't already downloaded my free monthly budget overview tracker, you don't want to miss this. This will help you outline all of your income and expenses for the month and see where you really stand. Knowing your numbers is owning your numbers. So you can download it at bit.ly/cgsbudget or at the link in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next lesson.